Hey, Dr. Brian Kinzel here. I'm going to be showing a drill today called the pause run drill. This has become among my favorite drills to warm up for running and for helping to change or improve the running gait stride of an injured runner or a runner who has pain during a running stride. So what we're going to be doing is jogging in place and pausing a few times on each leg. And I'm going to go through the positions we're looking for, and then I'll show the drill in real time. So this drill mimics the positions that we want to see at a point in the running gait cycle or the stride called midstance. Midstance is when one leg is on the ground and the other knee is roughly even with the stance leg. So my knees are roughly even. So this is one of the key positions that we assess when I'm looking at somebody's running gait, because this is where the most force is going through the leg. And it's not the only place, but it's a key place that things can go wrong if we're having pain during running. So this drill helps to improve upon that key point in the running gait cycle, which is midstance. So what we look for in midstance when I'm assessing somebody's running gait, look at it in slow motion, we slow it down, we pause at midstance, I look for a couple of things. First, standing here like this, we want the hips to be level. So here's my two hip bones. We want those to be in a straight line that's parallel to the floor. A lot of times what we see in a runner with pain is what's called a pelvic drop, which is this. Now my hips are at an angle. What that tells me is that the hip muscles, particularly the glutes, are not controlling our pelvic position, which is linked to the low back, leg, which feeds down to the knee and the foot. So that's priority number one, is a level hip position. And in this position, we should have a subtle engagement of the hip or glute muscles. Often before I give this warm-up drill to a runner, I have them do a series of hip activation exercises to make sure they're very aware of where these muscles are in their body and how they feel when they're working. And then we look to find that, so to speak, in this single leg position. So that's checkpoint number one, level hips and an engaged glute muscle. Number two is knee position. So we want to see a slight bend of the knee. We don't want to be straight. I don't want to be too bent. So just unlocking the knee a little bit. We want center of the patella to be over the third and fourth toes. So center of the foot. What we often see is that the knee drifts inward. So we want to draw the knee out. That actually goes along with some hip engagement. And then I want to see about 3 to 4 fingers of space between the knees. If there's a knee pain in running, one of the common things we see is that the knees drift together. And so I want to make sure I have space. I'm not rolling my ankle outward, but center of the knee is over the middle toe. That's checkpoint number two, knee position. Checkpoint number three is foot position. All I'm looking for here is that the foot is stable on the ground. Your big toe ball of the footer is on the ground, so is your pinky toe. We're not rolling too far in or too far out. So checkpoint number three is the foot. Checkpoint number four is the torso, particularly if you have back pain with running. All we're looking for is a fairly upright but relaxed torso. Often we'll see people too far forward or overarched or overextended. So I just want a relaxed position with rib tips, the bottom of the ribs, kind of flat with the abdomen, not angled out like that. Okay? So this is the position of midstance that we're looking to cultivate with this drill. So the drill is, with all that preamble aside, pretty straightforward. We're going to run in place. When we're running in place, I want nice, light, quick, and quiet steps. One of the other things we see, not mid-stance, but in the stride, is overstriding, have a really long stride, which then there's a lot of force to absorb when that happens. So running in place with nice, light, and quick steps helps to actually cue a quick cadence and a slightly shorter stride. And then the drill is you're going to pause on one leg and try and find that mid-stance position. Hold for 3 seconds once you find your stability, then continue. Pause on the other leg. Continue, pause. Oftentimes the first few attempts, as you saw with mine, are a little wobbly, and then we improve. On this pause, we're looking for level hips, engaged glute, knee, foot position, relaxed torso. get some arm movement in there to make running. But we really want to feel stability in those positions. So you're going to do that 5 to 8 times. Should take 1 to 2 minutes max. Then you're going to actually do a slow jog trying to do this drill as well. So I'm going to start running towards the camera, nice, light, quick steps, and then I'm going to pause. So I'm sorry, this is my drill. Okay, I'm going to do that coming forward, nice, light, quick, pause. It's going to be a little harder. Nice, light, quick, pause. I'm just moving backwards so I don't go out of view of the camera. Of course, when you're doing this on your own, you can just run forward, pause. Okay? On these pauses, we want to mimic the natural way your foot hits the ground. So if you're more of a forefoot to midfoot striker, go with that on the pause as we're moving forward. More of a heel striker, that's okay too. I'll show both. It's going to be a little tough to see on camera. So more of a forefoot strike, you are going to land more on your toe. Find it, totally cool. Heel strike, come in here, more of a roll onto the foot. But in each position, regardless of how your foot hits the ground first, mid stance should look the same, okay? So pause, run drill, we do 5 to 8 reps running in place, 5 to 8 reps running forward, and then we finish with, you're just gonna start with a minute easy jog, and all I want you to do is try to cultivate awareness of these positions. So by awareness, I mean as I'm jogging forward, I wanna say, hey, can I feel where my leg is in space? Do I know where my knees are? Are my knees super close together? Can I draw them apart a little bit? Am I aware that are my hips nice and level? Do I know what's happening with my hip? Can I engage that a little bit? So when I'm working with runners, a lot of times what I see is they have no idea what's happening other than their lungs. They're out of breath. But as far as where the rest of their body in space, it's very hard for them to say, what's going on. So with this drill, we're cultivating good positions, but also awareness. So if you've been struggling with pain during running, give this one a go. It's a great